Okay, we're going to talk about physical and chemical properties. So we know that properties, we know that all things are made of matter, and these are some words to know. So matter we know is anything that has mass and takes up space. Mass is just a measure of how much matter is in an object. Remember, your mass is going to be the same no matter where you are, anywhere in the universe, anywhere on any planet. Mass is going to be the amount of matter which is going to be the same anywhere. Weight, though, is the measure of force of gravity on an object. So your weight may change depending on where you are in the solar system. So you may have some that the gravity is stronger on a planet, and so your mass and that force of gravity will make you weigh more, or the force of gravity may be less than it is on Earth, and so therefore you will weigh less. Volume, that's just the amount of space that matter occupies. Remember that if we're doing a regular solid, it's just length times width times height. And if we're doing an irregular solid, we do it by displacement, where we fill up our graduated cylinder with a known amount of water. We put the object into it, and we see how much that water goes up, and that tells us the volume. Density, we did a lab about this in the very beginning of the year. Density is the measurement of how much mass of a substance is contained in a given volume. So essentially when we calculate it, it is mass divided by volume. Okay, so we take the mass using a balance, we measure out a volume of whatever we took the mass of, and then we can calculate how many molecules are in that given volume, or how much matter is in that given volume. States of matter. So there are different types of states of matter, like we talked about already. We've got our solids, our liquids, and our gases. We also talked about plasma, okay, that just talks about how the molecules are moving within that matter and how they're organized. Remember, a solid has a very organized, almost lattice, okay, organization of molecules, whereas a liquid, the molecules are moving a little bit faster and they kind of flow over each other, and a gas, they're bouncing everywhere and they're taking up a lot of volume. Freezing point, we talked about this. This is the temperature at which your liquid changes into a solid. Boiling point is the temperature at which your liquid becomes a gas. Okay, the boiling point of water, not at altitude, so just at sea level, is 100 degrees Celsius. Melting point, this is the temperature at which the solid forms, okay, or the solid turns into the liquid, excuse me, and essentially they range at which the temperature does it. So the melting point of water is 0 degrees Celsius. Now also, whether it's a compound or whether it's an element, okay, if it's made of 2 or more elements, it's a compound. Okay, water is, for example, is made up of oxygen and hydrogen, so it is a water or a compound. Salt is sodium and oxygen and hydrogen, and it is a compound. All substances have properties. Properties are like characteristics, okay? So humans have properties like your face shape or expression. Your voice, is it high or low? Your height, are you tall or short? Are you 5'6" or are you 5'3"? Your fingerprints, everyone has different fingerprints, so they have that different characteristic. Eye color, some people have brown eyes, some people have blue eyes, and so on and so forth. So what are properties? Properties are observable and measurable qualities. We can use general properties to identify substances. 2 basic types of properties of matter are physical and chemical. Physical properties are used to identify and describe and classify matter. These are characteristics of a substance that can be observed without changing the substance into something else. So examples would be, is it hard? Okay, or is it soft? What is its texture? Is it smooth or is it rough? What's the color? Is it red, black? We can just observe it without doing anything to it. That is a physical property. It smells a certain way. It has this temperature. More examples of physical properties would be size, shape, freezing point, boiling point, melting point, magnetism, viscosity, that's like how thick something is, density, luster, how shiny is it, and many, many more. Chemical properties are characteristics involved when a substance interacts with another substance to change its chemical makeup. So flammability, does it catch on fire really easy? Does it rust, meaning when something rusts it changes from one compound to another. That is a chemical property. Creating gas bubbles when it reacts, okay? Creating a new chemical product when it reacts, whether it reacts with water, what its pH or acidity is. Those are all chemical properties. So really quick, in your notes, I'd like you to do, you don't need to do a bubble map like this, but you can do a Venn diagram to compare chemical and physical properties. Please write down any questions you have.